Thanks for clicking on the video. Jay here from Evac Outdoors, and a little review today is going to be of the new Nemo Tensor all-season mat. I've currently got the old version, which originally came in a 3.4R. This is actually the mat which superseded that. That is the 4.3R version of the old mat. The new mat is a 5.4R value mat. It's a little bit thicker now. It's 3.5 inches opposed to 3 inches, and it's the same size. So both of these mats are the long wide versions. So I'm going to do a comparison. I haven't actually tried the all season out in the field yet, so this is just the first review, but I'll compare the two and give my opinion on whether the upgrade is worthwhile. The first thing that I will do is, both of these mats have had the inflation sacks removed as I use a flex tail pump. So I'll do a weight comparison on the two of them initially. So with the stuff sack and the strap, we have 608 grams on the old model, which is 21.45 ounces. And on the new all-season model, we have 601 grams, which is 21.20 ounces. So the old model is half an inch less in thickness. It's a 20D nylon top and bottom, whereas the new model is 3.5 inches thick. It's a 20D on the top and a 40D fabric on the bottom, and yet it's slightly lighter. So that for me is a good thing, that I've got a higher R value and a slightly lighter overall package. Let's get them blown up now so we can do a little look at the comparison between the two mats. Right guys, so that's the two mats inflated to more or less the same pressure using the FlexTail X mini pump. We'll now get the camera and I'll give you a look at the various features and the differences between the new all-season Tensor and the old 4.2 R-rated model. So the first thing to know is that the baffle construction on both mats is actually very similar. But when we compare the old 4.2 to the new all-season 5.4 rated pad, we can actually see that the baffles are actually significantly larger than what they are on the 4.2. So the 4.2 seems to have more baffles than the 5.4. And having just counted them, the old 4.2 has 29 transverse baffles in comparison to the new 5.4 all season, which has 25 transverse baffles. The other slight difference we can see here as well, in that both of these mats are the long wide version, albeit the new 5.4 all-season Tensor is indeed slightly longer than the old 4.2. Not a lot in it, but it is slightly longer by approximately half an inch, I would say. So I'm actually using a straight edge now on the top of one of the all-season 5.4 baffles, straight across onto the old model 4.2R Tensor. And we can see the height difference there, and both of these mats are inflated to more or less the same level of pressure as per the FlexTail X pump. So personally I would say the new all season is actually significantly higher than the old 4.2 version mat. I would personally say that is more than half an inch difference. If we take a look at the fabrics, the old 4.2 material has got the Nemo logo embossed. It's quite soft, it has a luxurious feel to it, whereas the new 5.4 has a zigzag impression, a little bit of like a ripstop effect going on there. It's obviously feels more durable, a heavier fabric I think, and has a bit more sort of slippiness to it in comparison with the old 4.2. In comparison with the 4.2, the valve has also been updated. I don't know if this has ever happened to anybody, but with this design of valve where the two little lugs are one on top of each other, sometimes when you pull it out you get mixed up with the lugs and you end up pulling the entire valve out and dumping all the air out of the mat, which is not a good thing to happen when you're lying on it. On this one, the valve is attached there. It's a bit more hard plastic on this version. The new valve on the 5.4 is, however, a completely different beast. It's more pliable, it's more rubbery, and you can probably see the cap is offset from the main valve, which means hopefully you shouldn't get mixed up if you want to dump a little bit of air out of the mat. So we'll just have a quick look at the fabric on the bottom of each mat. As I said before, the 4.2 is this grey ripstop nylon, which has got quite a nice feel to it. However, it is only a 20D in comparison with the orange on the 5.4, which is just a lot more substantial, and you can just feel it's going to be a lot more durable. Comfort wise, how does each mat compare? So on a solid concrete base here, there's not really anything underneath us to give any extra support. The 4.2 I've used for the last 2 years and had no problems with. When I turn around on it, I do get the odd part where my knee or bone might go through to the concrete below. Ow! Like my knee just there. And as I'm a side sleeper, I don't really want my hip or knees or anything touching the concrete. I would say this probably mat at the minute has a little bit too much air in it to be comfortable, so just letting a bit of air out there, I can feel instantly that my hip here would be touching the floor. And if I move around again, elbow there touches the floor quite quickly. So nothing wrong with it, but because it's got that little bit less thickness, you are obviously going to be more prone to going through the mat and touching the underlying substrate or whatever surface you're lying on. Now for the 5.4 rated mat. This is probably about the same level of air pressure as this one. Just let a little bit out of it. There we go. So to be fair, this mat does feel more comfortable because it's got that bit extra thickness to it. Because you can let the air out, you've got more volume to play with, so you can actually get a bit higher level of comfort without risking your hips or elbow actually going through the mat onto the floor. And overall, it feels very comfortable. So between the two of them, there is not a lot in it, but there is no doubt the new Tensor 5.4 all season is the more comfortable mat because it does have that little bit extra height to it. And now on to another part of the test, which is quite important. Oh, I think I've got somebody joining me here, which is noise. How much noise do we get from these mats? I'm not sure whether this is single or multi-layer aluminium foil for the insulation. I'll maybe have a look when I pull the pin. But in general, we can see it's quite quiet mat actually. It's not really making any noise there. So Nothing too much to worry about. See, not too much noise. Let's see how we get on with the All Season 5.4. So, on the All Season 5.4 now, is it any more noisy than the old trusty 4.2? I have to say there is a slight difference in that you can hear the aluminium foil crinkling a bit, but one's got to outweigh the other. We can't have higher insulation without more insulating materials inside the mat. So I guess it would be a personal decision. Does the extra comfort of the All Season Tensor 5.4 is that outweigh the 4.2 because of a slight noise penalty? For me, I don't think it's very bad, to be honest, and I think it's perfectly within limits and livable with. So guys, there we have it. The old Nemo Tensor 4.2 R rated lightweight mat in comparison with the new All Season 5.4 lightweight mat, both in long wide versions. Should you upgrade from the 4.2 to the 5.4? Well, having not tested the All Season out in the field yet, I would say if money is no object and you want to keep up to date and have the latest mat and the latest gear, then spend the 220 euros or whatever and upgrade to the Tensor All Season. However, if you're on a budget and you're looking at this mat and you're wondering, is it going to be significantly different to the old 4.2? Then I would say probably not. Keep your money, use your old 4.2 until it eventually wears out or holes, and at that time upgrade to the new All Season 5.4. That's my own personal thoughts on the matter. However, do give it some consideration yourselves. Once again, thanks for watching the review. Lovely to see everybody here, keeping up with the channel, and don't forget to click and subscribe. It's always appreciated to keep everything going. Have a good new year and take care.